as I see it, and that is that it's really, cooking is not a means to an end. Cooking is really a thought process and mental constructs that are exactly the same as how we create life. We have metaphysics and quantum physics, as I'm sure you've heard of, that play a big part in our life, and that's exactly what we do when we're cooking. So it is really quite therapeutic, and it really does keep us very present, and it helps us to really create things the way that we want to. Heston Blumenthal always says to his chefs, he asks his chefs to visualise the recipe before they start it, to visualise the end result. So understanding that, he's already asked them to create an image in their mind, because that image will start to manifest out in the outside world, which is very soon after the recipe is constructed, the actual end result. Cooking is also, ultimately life and cooking is, because everything on this earth is basically energy. I know that it's quite deep, but just believe that to be the case, because it is. Everything is energy, and obviously the difference between each and everything it is because there is a difference of intention with that energy, and it becomes whatever we see it to be. So cooking is actually an interaction and an exchange of energies, creating an end result of the recipe. So the better that we can be in a state of mind and a frame of mind when we're actually cooking, the better the end result can be, and hence also in our life. The better state of mind we are when we're doing something, having relationships, creating wealth, whatever it may be in our life, the better the end result will be. So what I like to do is, before we start doing the recipe, is that I would like to start by simply having a small visualization process. And how this works is just, I'd like you to close your eyes, just take a deep breath in, release it, take another deep breath in, release it. Now, I'd like you just to release all thoughts that you have in your mind, and just focus on your breath underneath your nose, on your top lid. Just quietly for a few moments. Now, what I'd like you to do is to imagine, or something that brings something that you love doing, or really that you enjoy so much, and it brings a nice feeling and emotion in your body that, you know, when you're doing it, you get this fuzzy feeling that starts from your head right down to your tips of your toes and extends out through your fingers. Now, if you can hold that thought and that feeling for just a moment or so, you'll feel that you're actually just starting to relax into it, and your body's starting to loosen up. Don't have too much tension at all. If there's any tension, just let it go. If any thoughts come, just let them come, and then just concentrate back on your nose, holding on your breathing under your nose, on your lip, holding that intention, that nice emotion. Now what I'd like you to do with that emotion, just hold it, and also just start imagining what we're going to be doing. We're going to be making some dough first for the crostoli. We're going to be mixing up some nice flour and some egg and some liquid, the sherry or the wine or the grappa, whichever one you have, and we're going to be making a dough. We're going to be kneading that nicely, and we're going to be putting all this nice emotion that we have, we're going to be doing it together with the actual mixing of the ingredients to make this dough. So there's going to be that transfer of energy that I was just talking about previously, so that it really feels that the whole environment around you has that intention of good energy, as well as permeating through into the ingredient that you're making. Once that's done, we're going to actually just wrap that, put that to the side, and then we're going to start mixing the mascarpone and the cream for the tiramisu. We'll mix it up just very delicately, still holding that emotion. We're going to put that into that combination of ingredients that we're going to be mixing up. Then what we're going to be doing is put that to the side. We're going to be soaking these biscuits. We're going to pick them up one by one, and we're going to quickly soak them in the coffee. And we're going to pull them out and lay them side by side on each one on this platter. Then we're going to get some masala and spread it over the biscuits. that are laying side by side on this platter. Then once we've done that, we're going to get the cream that we've just mixed previously, and we're going to pick that up, and we're going to spread that nicely with the spatula that I've asked you to get as part of the toolkit, and we're going to spread that over the actual biscuits. Then we're going to get another layer of biscuits, do the same as we did previously, soak them, lay them on top of the layer of cream that was spread over the previous set of biscuits, and we're going to lay them side by side. Just sit there for a moment and get that nice thought through there. Then once they're all done, we're going to cover the whole thing with mascarpone cream, just to complete it all. And we're going to have a nice little rectangular shaped type of cake with beautiful white, creamy, fluffy texture. That's pretty much it. Now, then we're going to go back to the crostoli. We're going to actually undo the dough, and we're going to roll it through the pasta machine. We're going to hold this beautiful, lovely thought, nice energy that we have. I know that I'm going quite quickly through this, but I do want to not hold you up too much and just get the concept of what we're really doing, because it does make a difference when you are cooking. And we're going to put that into the actual pasta machine, the dough itself. We're going to fold it over, and then we're going to lay it through again, and we're going to push it down. We're going to fold it over again, put it into the machine, roll it through the rolling pins, and lay it again. And we're going to keep reducing the thickness as we're rolling through the actual pasta machine itself. Now, once we've got the actual size that we want, we're going to turn the oil on, and we're going to have that oil up to really quite hot, and we're still going to retain that energy. We've got this nice electrifying energy of good feeling and emotion running through us, and we're going to have that flat, well, we're going to retain it, but we're going to lay out the pasta sheet, and we're going to cut them in the long strips and get them ready to throw in the oil. Now, the oil's going to be hot. As soon as the oil's hot enough, we're going to peel these strips off the actual bench top, and we're going to put them in the oil. They're going to bubble quickly and instantly. We're going to turn them over so they're brown both sides, and we're going to get them out of the oil, put them in the actual paper towel lined bowl, just so they absorb a little bit of the oil that picks up from while cooking the crostoli. They shouldn't have too much oil on them, though sometimes they do pick up a little bit, and the paper towel will do that. Then we're going to get some icing sugar, and we're going to dust them with that. And that's it. And that'll be the whole process, folks. So now we'll just take a nice deep breath, release it. This is something I do all the time before I actually start cooking. I release any negative thoughts well before I do, and then I just get into it. Okay, now we'll get started. Fantastic. So, what we'll do is, I'll get the flour. Well, we have it just a moment, folks. We're just dropping out the battery. Hopefully it's still broadcasting. The other side, Marie, the other side.
There we go.
That's what I was going to do and forgot to do it. The battery, I'm not sure if it's still broadcasting. Okay. There we go. Okay, we're back online from this end. Hopefully we haven't lost you from before that. Anyway, okay, so we've got some sifted flour here. We're going to put a little hole in the centre. We're going to add some sugar. Now you can add as much or as little sugar as you like, because sugar is only a sweetener, and I don't like these to be too sweet. Now I know that I said that the egg was an option, and the reason why that is because if you don't use the egg, the dough will turn out to be harder and crispier if you like that, which is fine, though I like it to be a little bit softer, also crispy, and crunchy at the same time. So what I'm going to do is mix the egg and the grappa together, make like an egg wash. Get a little whisk here. Fantastic. And we'll pour that straight in there. Now don't be too concerned if it seems like that there's not enough mix. or if it's too dry, but you can always add a little bit more. The important thing is that we get the right consistency, and recipes, as I've always said, are only guidelines. You are allowed to create anything you like the way that you like it. There are no right and wrongs, it's just about learning and experimenting with everything around you as we do in life, because I believe that this is a little bit dry now, but we'll just keep mixing it a little bit. I'll just get a little bit more grappa, just a moment. And I hope that you're following along, because we'll do this together. I'm going to actually add a little bit of wine to that. There we go. I don't know if you heard that, but there was Marie in the background here just said the ingredients list is on the page. So, but anyway, that's probably a little bit late for that if we haven't done that now. So we'll just keep moving. What you've got to do is you're actually pushing the fibre of the flour through the moisture that is in there. It may seem dry, so if you add too much water it will be too wet. So you just got to keep working it through. It does take a little bit of work, though it is good. I've only done 100 grams here because you will be able to get quite a number of crostoli out of this amount of flour. Now, what I like to also do is do this in lots of 100 grams because it's easier to mix and you get a nicer dough out of it. Otherwise, if it's too big, you have to add a lot of moisture and it's a lot harder to work it as well. So I like to retain about 100 grams. You can see picking up more of the stuff. And basically what you're doing is you just, as you would any dough, pasta or the like, you just bring any corner in and you just use your palm. You can use 2 hands if you like. And again, basically what you're doing is you're pushing the flour through the moisture that is inside, because a lot of the moisture is still inside in the centre. So the harder you can push the better. And if you want to make it softer and experiment with it, that's quite okay as well. That's the way. We just keep mixing it till it's quite dry. See how it's picking up all the extra stuff? See, because again, if it's too wet, it doesn't bubble as nice. And what happens as well is that when you put it through the pasta machine, if it's too wet, it gets quite sticky. I'm just going to pick a little bit more moisture that's in the bowl here. Because it makes such a difference just with every little bit of moisture that you may get, you know, that you may have. There we go, that's made a huge difference. Beautiful. And don't forget, we've got a nice little gift for you. Didn't this? We appreciate you watching and getting online with us. Hopefully you're keeping up with mixing the dough here. If you feel that it's not happening and I move to something else, that's okay. Just wrap it in some Glad wrap and put it in the fridge. We don't have to put it in the fridge, just keep it to the side so the moisture doesn't evaporate and you're able to knead it later. You can see here how it's nice and dry. It's a little bit bread-like type of a dough, and that's what we want really. What the egg also does, it gives us some flavour, as well as lightness. So as you can see, we're really connecting with the dough when we're doing it. And that's why often when people say, you know, oh, I don't like cooking, I don't enjoy it, I hate it, or whatever, and you hear their partner say, man, I can never get my partner, male or female, to do a great meal. It just never works out. And my question is, do they enjoy cooking? And if they don't, often the case is that they don't get a good result. And that's the same with relationships, you know. How often do you go somewhere and go, wow, I'm just not feeling like it, you know, I'm not feeling sociable. And sometimes when you go out and you're feeling sociable, it turns around for you because the energy out there was so much better, it lightened you up. But if there's a heavy energy and you're heavy as well, then you go out, it's just like, wow, the end result isn't much good. But with cooking, because you're breaking down the energies of these ingredients, be it the food, you actually interact with it a lot quicker and you do make a difference to what it is, and your energy does affect it. I've had plenty of experiences in the restaurant when I was feeling up and down with my emotions on particular days or particular times throughout the week. The difference was in the food. Certainly a good consistency all the time, though some days it was not how I would like to. I could taste it myself. Even myself, do yourself an experiment. Cook one time feeling really good and cook one time like intensely not feeling good, or, you know, I'm not interested, and see what the results are, what your family says. But anyway, this is done, ready to go. I'm going to wrap that now and just put it in some Glad wrap to the side. A bit everywhere with the cam here, just excuse us for that. But okay. And we'll just put that to the side over here. Alrighty. So we've got one thing down and we've got a few more to go. Live TV. Well, not TV, but certainly on the same lines. Live broadcasting. You get the lot, folks. No hidden secrets here. That's what I love about it. Not that we hide anything anyway. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make up the, get the bowl over here. The mascarpone and cream. Yeah. Okay, that was a squirrel in the throat. Alright, so if you look down in here, in the bowl over here, there we go, fantastic, beautiful. What we're going to do is mascarpone, the cream, the sugar and the masala. Now, mascarpone has a very fine line when it comes to whipping it and beating it. You've got to break it up, as you can see a little bit there. Then you've got to whip it with the cream so that it gets nice and soft and fluffy with soft peaks. You don't want to over whip it, because what will happen is at a very sudden point during the whipping process, what will happen is that the solids will split. It like the mascarpone will like seem like that it's actually curdled, and what's actually happening is it'll turn into a slightly grainy texture. The flavour will change a little bit, though because of the texture's changed quite an amount, considerably, it'll really intensify that the flavour is very different, even though it really isn't. So basically, it doesn't give you the same experience when you've over whipped the mascarpone itself. So you just want to keep it nice and soft and fluffy without going to that point that it's actually started to split and separate. Because you basically put it in the butter, you'll notice that the actual, if you get to that point, you'll notice it's very evident that it'll get little grainy, it'll clump up. It's like the coagulation of the actual, like, well, just coagulation, and looks like lumpy sort of bits throughout. So if you look down here, you'll see how it's starting to thicken some. See how the centre is sort of becoming a bigger hole there, because it's really starting to get thick now. There we go, that's it. That's all it takes, very little. And you see how it's sort of still quite runny. It's beautiful, just very light, soft peats. And just really, really nice. Tastes fantastic too. I'll give it, I'm going to put that back in. You guys aren't going to taste, that's why I'm doing, otherwise I wouldn't. Fantastic. Okay, that's one. Now, we'll get the biscuits and we'll get the tray. These are so simple, folks. I want to do these and show you. I know that I've got the video though. Watching it live, so, you know, makes a difference because it is that little bit more authentic. And I'm after a knife, which is right here, always has been. Never forgotten it. Though I just remember late afterwards that it's there. I'll get a little napkin here, a little special drawer. Okay, so if you look here when we actually dip the biscuits, so what we've got to do is very quickly face down, that's the top of the biscuit. That's the top of the biscuit, and that's underneath, of course. So, and you'll notice the sugar parts on top. And what we do is we very quickly, we're just doing that's it, because the computer keeps popping out. So we'll just quickly, and you'll see it soaking around the edges, and we'll just quickly turn it over, and we'll just strain them. That's all we do. You can actually, if you soak them too long like I just did, you'll notice that the biscuit starts to soften and fall apart in your hand. So we don't want to do that. So I'll do that very quickly again. Whack, whack. Because the weight of it itself will also push the coffee through a little bit when it's sitting in the plate. So it's just a very, very quick process that we do. There we go. I'm just wondering how the ads are going. Again, I apologise if they're interfering with it, though you won't be losing any of the footage. It just happens that it just comes back on when we dropped off. I'm going to get some masala. We've only been doing this for coming up to 10 minutes, folks. That's how quick these recipes are. This is what I love about, you know, the recipes I get, because they're just so quick, easy and simple. You can connect with it all. Jamie Oliver, love the man, he can eat his heart out. My recipes are quicker than his. He's a great guy, love the man, great ambassador for the industry. Though, you know, it's just fantastic. And we come from the same school of love and connection about life and food, and you can see that in him. I truly believe that he loves what he's doing, and you know, he just cooks from the heart and just connects with the food totally. He's just so enthusiastic, and really, that's what having a great life is all about. I'll get the spatula that I'm going to use. I'll use this one here. This will be fine. So basically what we're going to do now is just spread that on there. Once we've placed it on there like that, just nice. Get a nice even layer so that when you cut it, you actually demonstrate that there is a nice layer there. Sort of, when you cut a slice, you'll notice it'll be a nice even layer between the biscuits. And it just looks really good, and also the flavour will be well balanced with the biscuits and the masala and the coffee and all sorts. Even as I'm being very gentle, as you may notice, spreading the cake, the cream, and the reason for that is because as I'm spreading it, I'm still whipping it, because the mascarpone is that delicate that you'll find if you start to spread it too much, what happens is that it'll separate while you're doing it. So even though you haven't caused it to split in the bowl while you're whipping it, you may do that accidentally if you overspread it and not gentle with it. You'll do that while you're actually spreading it on the cake. So that's something to sort of take note about. That's why I'm also, again, doing it very gently. Okay, so now we'll soak another row of biscuits in there, dip them quickly, turn them around, shake it off. We're going crazy with this cam there, but we'll get there, Next one will be better. Then we've got to soak another biscuit. That's okay. We'll just keep it on the cake. See, it's starting to take shape. I'll just show you dipping one biscuit again. So basically that way, just face down, roll it over quickly, and that's it. See, and if it's a little bit under soaked as well, that's okay, because remembering that you're going to be adding the masala to it, so that's an extra liquid which is going to add to the liquid volume in the biscuit itself. So don't be too concerned, and even if it's a little bit, even if it's a touch dry, when you actually enjoy it, doesn't matter, it's alright, it's all good, because there's a lot of love there, you know, a lot of love in it, I can tell. That's the secret to it all.
First last for the camera person.
And the, you know, because this might even be a little bit too wet for the liking, for your liking. Though I love it like this. I love it. So I love it melt in your mouth. In the restaurant, we had a gentleman who tasted it for the first time and he went, "Oh my God!" He used to call it su, short for tiramisu. And it was the best su he reckons he ever tasted. Of course, it was his personal opinion. And though he said it just sits on your tongue and then just melts, and then your whole mouth erupts of these and explodes with these flavours, and your taste buds are just going crazy everywhere, and it's just a beautiful experience that you have. And see the energy again, it's just truly an amazing thing, because food again is one of those things that gives you sensations like no other. So we're putting up the top layer of this tiramisu. So we just get it round. So it's just those measurements, the ingredients that we gave you, are nearly perfect. Well, you know, nothing's ever perfect, so look at that, there's nothing left in there, and it'll be just enough once we've covered all this tiramisu here. These are just so simple. Again, the ingredients, again, the recipes I do are simple because we are able to connect with them far more in a relaxed way and give it better intention, getting better results. Whereas if it's too complex, it is very, very difficult to get good results, because you're so stressed about it. You know, even though it might look good on the plate, at the end of the day, it's what tastes it gives you when you enjoy it, as they do in MasterChef. At the end of the day, it's what it tastes like in your mouth. Because it can look good all at once, and if you put it in your mouth and the enjoyment is like, oh, that is where it all counts. So by having simple recipes, we know we're going to give it better intention, hence better end result, better flavour, better experience when we're tasting it. I've met a few people along the way expressing what it is that I want to do with the Italian cooking class, because it's really more than cooking. It really is a way of understanding life. And I explained to this, I was at a seminar and I explained this to this gentleman only last year, and he said, oh, I get that so much. Like, he understood exactly what I was saying, because the intensity that we give things is the results that we come from it. And he was at a Hare Krishna restaurant one time, and in Surrey Hills. When I say one time, it wasn't that long ago. And he was so impressed. He had this simple cauliflower dish. It was only 2 ingredients, or just both with cauliflower. And he said that he was so impressed by the fact of the flavours that was out of this simple dish, that on his way out he had to stop by and ask the chef how they got so much flavour out of the dish. As he did, he walked out, stopped, asked the chef the question, and guess what the chef said to him? He said, we give it the intention. And I went, wow. There you have it, because the intention and the energy that's given to everything is what gives it the end result. Now also, I'd say again, last year, another seminar, the lady, she goes, yes, I know, she said exactly, she said, I know a Hare Krishna restaurant where they bless the food before it leaves the service, before it leaves the actual window where it leaves to go out to the, I can't even think of the name, but it's the counter where all the food, the pass, before it leaves the pass. So like, you know, and the intensity of the flavours and the feel good of the people that are enjoying the food is amazing. Anyway, we'll get on to this. So you can see that this is the end result here. We have that wonderful creation of tiramisu. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to top it with a little bit of chocolate. Okay. It's a bit more than I thought it sounded, but you know, that's sort of it. If you've got some cocoa, it's even better. This is just drinking chocolate beer, whatever you like, really. There we go. We'll put that in the fridge and we'll serve that just before we finish. Now we've got about 20 minutes left. We're going to get those, we're going to remove all this stuff now. We're going to move all this stuff out and we're going to do the actual the nice Crostoli dough. We're going to roll it out. I'm going to quickly get a photo of that tiramisu. You can probably get a nice view from up here as well. So you'll notice around the sides there. Oh, a bit all over the place with this thing here. I just want to show you all the way around, that's all basically. Just how it's sort of nice and easy. Doesn't have to be perfect, you know. If you had a better spatula, you could probably do a little bit better as well. So, okay, we'll stick that in the fridge. And we'll start rolling out these things. Okay, still got that good energy with you? I certainly have. I'm really enjoying it, like I always do. So, okay, if you look over here, we're going to take a piece of dough, as such, keep that wrap so it doesn't dry. We're going to open up probably a little bit bigger. We'll just reduce that a little bit more. And I'm going to open up this pasta machine to the maximum size. Now, I apologise if you can't see coming through, but it's on this side. I'll just do this up a little bit more there. Beautiful. Basically what we're doing is we're just pushing that through so that it joins a bit more. This is just another kneading process basically. This might go for an hour. We said 45 minutes to an hour. We'll get it out to an hour. So you see the actual dough is getting a lot smoother and a lot softer. And the reason why we're folding it is to actually, as well as get the fibres, we're all over the place with this cam, so that's cool, this working. So as well as getting the fibres to alternate, because it makes it tighter, the actual dough itself, it makes it more durable, so to be able to stretch more, we're actually folding air into it at the same time. We're getting air into it. And that's how they make puff pastry. What they do is they fold it, butter, roll it, butter, fold it, roll it, butter, fold it, roll it. So they keep folding on top of each other, adding butter. That's why, because butter has a lot of air in it when it cooks, so it releases the air, as well as the air in the actual dough itself, so you get that puff pastry, and that's why it's so light and fluffy when it all happens. But we'll just get the beginning. We're moving around a bit because the computer is wanting to turn off and we're turning it back on. So, okay, so this is, I've done this enough now. Now I'm going to reduce this because it's really, really nice. I'm going to reduce it to half the thickness to what I want it to be. And I'll put that through again. The reduced thickness, a little bit of length there. Do that. There we go, it's getting better. That's it. Now I'll put it to the actual size that I'd like it to be. So now we're just going to roll that out. It's actually the lowest or the thinnest size that I can get out of it. There we go. And that's the finished product. And it's nice and dry. It's not sticky, it's just got the right texture, it's beautiful, it's still quite elastic, and that should bubble nicely when it's in the oil. So I hope you're there along with me. I do apologise if I'm flying through it. I just don't want to hold you up too much. We'll do this one more, and then we'll start to cook them. Again, I'm just folding it. See, because as we're putting this through as well, as it's going like through this, it's not really a screed though, there's more moisture that's actually, as it's going through the rollers and coming up, all that moisture is getting pushed through. That's why you're able to stretch it some more and it becomes more pliable. It's just kneading it more and more, and it's working that moisture through it more and more, and it's getting better all the time. This is fantastic. All I'm thinking of is just this, you know, not my mind anywhere, just this, being very focused and centered. And life is just that, folks. There is no future or past. Even though the past was experienced, the future we're not sure about, but being attached to it allows us not to be present. And not being present creates a lot of unawareness and unhappiness, because the present moment is fantastic. And when you're in the present moment, you're able to handle situations where you're feeling you're feeling a little bit challenged because of the situation, that by being present and connecting to the one thing in life that is only the present moment, you are able to be a lot more focused and get much better results. And by cooking, it helps you to practice that very awareness, consciousness. So here's another sheet here. See, just pull that apart, beautiful. That's actually, even though it's sitting here, that's actually swelling. If I wanted to, I could put that through it again and get a little bit extra length out of it. I might just do that just to show. This is the first one that we did. So I'll just show you, look at how long it is here. If you notice, it's a little bit shorter than this one. This is the second one we did. Now we'll do this. First one, we'll put it back through. I haven't touched the roller itself at all. Now look at the size of it now, folks. If you notice, look how much longer it is than the other one. And the roller hasn't moved any at all. So if you look at it from here now, you will notice that this one here, which is the first one, which was shorter, is a lot longer than this one, which was longer before. So the moral of the story there is, folks, that nothing is ever still. Things are always moving, changing and growing. So we're going to heat the oil up now. Induction cooktops, folks. Induction cooktops are the way to go. They're incredible. They do use a little bit more power to get going, though they're more efficient because they heat up so quickly that they're not using as much power overall. Now, you do require induction utensils, the pots and pans that actually do work on induction tops, as you probably know. They're highly recommended, and these portable ones are great. If you have a look, they're like, you get them online, and you know, they're just so great, so versatile. Take them camping, take them anywhere. If you've got PowerPoint camping, it just went off because there's nothing on there, it was detecting nothing. But basically, they're like $100 or $40. You get them anywhere between $40 and $100. I'm not sure if you saw that. That was everywhere. That was me holding the can. But they're great anyway. So we'll cut these crostoli here. Okay. Just with a nice sharp knife. I'm not going to cook all these, folks. I'm just going to cook a few of these to show you. And likewise yourself, that way you can do them afterwards anyway. Just before we go any further, I'd like to tell you about this wonderful book that we've written, and it's called, get this, Sensational Flavours, Love to Your Palate. It's an ebook and is available on it's available on Amazon. You can get the link on our page, and it's $9.99, folks, and they're just incredible flavours. It's got a little bit about, you know, the way to cook them, the simplicity of them. But the 10 different recipes that I haven't really done on YouTube. I had one of them though. It's on file in the book, and it's $9.99, and it's just great. And you've got it all the time, and it's great because the three problems that I find with cooking is that people don't have enough time, don't know what to do, and often, you know, it's one of those things that the energy, you know, they're not real in line with being present. So what I've done is I've made this recipe, this book, again, sensational flavours, love to your palate, and they're great flavours, and they can be utilised in anything you want. So it alleviates the thought of you having to think about what to cook. There's a whole array of combination of flavours that you can constantly use in different combinations of dishes, and it's there for you. It's just online. Again, it's $9.99, and it just takes away a lot of issues with what to cook, how to cook it, and you know what flavours to combine. It's all there. Just look it up, bang, and it's ready to go. So it really alleviates a lot of those problems. This is nice and hot, nearly there. So if you look here, what I've done is I've actually cooked off those. Excuse me, I haven't cooked anything off. I've cut them up, and what I've done is I've just put a side in the middle. I've just turned these over, and you can see how they just get a nice little twirl in them. Very, very simple. See how thin that is? That's just like, that's the knife itself. See if you can see that. And that's it's thinner than the knife itself. The sheet. Okay, we've got 5 minutes to go here, folks. Hang in there while it's bubbling up here. Let's have a look. Okay. Look at that. You can see how that's quickly. What happens is too, as the oil gets a little bit hotter, you find that they'll brown a lot quicker. See how quickly they bubble and they crisp up, and they will brown just as quick. So I just have to get again, once the oil is really hot, they'll start to bubble a lot quicker. Pardon, bubble as well as brown a lot quicker. And what happens is that they look like that they're quite soft, but as they crisp, they harden. As they cool, they harden. Yeah, they'll start to brown. The oil just a little bit hotter. The oil would have been a little touch better. While that's done, I'll just cut some of these a bit more. And we'll just pick that up like that. So we'll just turn them over in itself like that. Okay, these are starting to brown some now. Look at that, nice colours. And you can cook them as golden as you like. Here we go, these are just starting. I'll just get some tongs actually, that might be a little bit easier. Fantastic, nice, a nice little brown colour there. There we go, that's it. We'll just put them in there. That sunflower oil is beautiful. I've just started using sunflower oil a bit more than vegetable oil for cooking because it really, there's a whole different flavour. It seems, you know, the aftertaste of the oil on the cooked ingredients is much better. The sunflower, much, much better. There we go. We'll just throw them in there. We'll let them soak a little bit. And we'll throw these in there like that. See how quickly they come up? There we go. Now the oil's at a good temperature. Perfect. And then we'll get a little bit of and we're just going to ice those up. If you look in here, these lovely little things in the fry pan here, little quickly they've browned up. Just get a plate. I'll just get these out because they are just starting to brown a little bit too much. There we go, we'll do that again. And we'll just throw another one in here. Another 3 and that's it. I think it's overloaded this. It's a little bit hot, but we'll just start it again. We'll turn that down, we'll turn them over. And you'll see these are ready to go again. That's how quick these things cook, see? If you look up in the pan here, that's how quick these things cook. Beautiful. So we're going to ice those up here again. Okay. Just a minute left to go, folks. Just bear with us. Okay. Alrighty. So bring that over here. And get out the tiramisu. Okay, we'll have a look at this tiramisu here. And we'll just get a nice little shot of it. Yep, look at that. There we go, folks. That's a tiramisu in there. It is fantastic. No, because I cooked it, I'm just a messenger. That's great, folks. Follow the instructions. Listen to this crusty little crostoli. Mmm. Can you hear the crunch? Mmm. They are so light, so wonderful, and so tasty, and so healthy. All natural ingredients, lots of love, folks. I'll say the story that I always tell you. Before we go any further, the gift we're going to send you is that ebook, folks. That's what we're going to send you, is that ebook that I mentioned before. It's just great flavours. There's 10 different recipes. They're very simple. You can connect with them. It's got some tips on there on really how to connect with it all. And we'll send it to you. All you have to do is message info@theitaliancookingclass.com if you've already opted. I'll start again. How you can get it is you've got to opt into our web page, leave us your email, you go to there, you'll see a friendship list opt-in panel, fill that in, we'll send you out a link for the actual ebook, and if you're already on our email list, please send a message to info@theitaliancookingclass.com. That's info@theitaliancookingclass.com. We do appreciate it. We thank you for your following. We thank you for the great story and success we've been having with the ItalianCookingClass.com. It is thank you to you for watching, and we enjoy it. Again, we'll keep in touch with another live recipe cooking class. Again, arrivederci, buon appetito. Thank you for watching. This is Giuseppe. Please leave your details, opt into our webmail so you can leave us your email. We'll send you a link if you're already on our webpage, info@theitaliancookingclass.com. Share the video, like it, tell your friends about it. We'd like more people to connect. Thank you so much. Arrivederci, buon appetito.